Hello and namaste to everybody. It is so good to be here speaking to all the young minds today. Well, what do I do? I climb mountains. It is as simple as that. I love climbing mountains, and that love it to this great adventure to the world's highest mountain, जिसके बारे में आज आपसे बात करूंगा मैं. So this is the route that I took in order to get to the very top of the world. So the route that you are seeing is not as simplistic as you are imagining it right now. I know आप क्या सोच रहे हो, बेस कैंप से निकल के एडवांस बेस कैंप जाएंगे, एडवांस बेस कैंप से फिर नॉर्थ कॉल, फिर कैंप 2, फिर कैंप 3 एंड देन समिट. इतना simplistic नहीं है. Why? Because just imagine if by some magic, if I can put you from sea level to the very top of the world, any human being would be unconscious within a minute and dead within 3 to 5 minutes. Any human being. Why? Because our bodies are not acclimatized to the higher altitudes. So to get our bodies used to the lower oxygen levels, we follow a procedure called as rotations. Jisme it's a very slow and a very tiring process. So we start from the base camp, we go to the advanced base camp, we spend a few nights, then we come all the way back to base camp, rest for a few days, go to the advanced base camp, spend a night, north call, which is camp 1, spend a night, then come all the way back again to the base camp, rest for a few days, advanced base camp, spend a night, north call, spend a night, camp 2, spend a night, and come all the way again back to the base camp. Why do we do this? Well, because we introduce our bodies slowly to the higher altitudes so that it can acclimatize well without we getting sick. And that's when I learned one of the biggest lessons that I have in my life, that success, or rather progress, is not necessarily always in the forward direction. Sometimes it is wise to take a step back, and a step back is, it does not mean कि आप progress नहीं कर रहे हो. So yes, moving on, after our rotations we were ready and our body was now acclimatized to go towards the top of the world. So this next picture is actually shot on the advanced base camp. If we can have the next slide, please. uh, yeah, so this is a picture which is clicked on the advanced base camp, which is the camp after base camp. It is covered from all three sides from glaciers, and beach में थोड़े से पत्थर है. And at 21,000 feet, we barely managed to pitch our camps here. And we spent a night here when we were going towards the summit. And the next day, the next picture which you will see is on our way towards Camp 1. So this is a very formidable challenge that we encounter on our way towards Camp 1. This is a huge 1000 feet tall ice wall. And इसके ऊपर आप देख सकते हो छोटे छोटे इंसान जा रहे हैं. If you pay close attention to it, you can see people going up. And we are already at an altitude of 22,000 feet out here. That means the oxygen in the atmosphere is less than 50% of what we are breathing out here. So the rhythm of us walking gets excruciatingly slow. You cannot walk for more than 3 to 5 steps at a time without having to stop and take at least 8 to 10 breaths. So it's like 3 steps, 10 breaths, 3 steps, 10 breaths. It gets mentally very frustrating that you have to go so far, but you cannot walk fast. But this is when a very fundamental lesson I had learned in the years of climbing, that in life or in any task that we do, whatever Everest that we have in our lives, it is all about taking one step in front of the other. If we are able to put one step in front of the other, no matter what it takes, relentlessly, we will reach the top eventually. It is all about putting one step in front of the other. And एक पैर के आगे एक पैर रखते रखते, जो next picture आप देखोगे camp 1 का picture है वो. Oh, sorry. So this is also a picture clicked on that wall. You can see the gradients of it, how steep it is. It was a fun day. Next picture. Yeah. So this is a picture clicked on the Camp 1 of Everest, and you can see the highest point on the right hand of the frame. That's the top of the world, and that's where we were heading just 2 days away now. So in the next picture, you will see me wearing this oxygen mask. So from here, from Camp 1 onwards, from 23,000 feet onwards, we start using supplementary oxygen because hello, because oxygen levels Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. So, yes, from 23,000 feet, the oxygen levels are really low. So, help of the supplementary oxygen. So, from here, a whole new journey starts. So, this next picture is shot at Camp 2, 25,000 feet. We spent a night here, an incredibly beautiful but uncomfortable night. You can see such a slope it is, and slope pe camp situated. A very, very rough night, but an amazing place. So yeah, next picture is shot between Camp 2 and Camp 3. Now between Camp 2 and Camp 3, we enter into a area that we mountaineers refer to as death zone. Any area above 26,000 feet, the oxygen levels in the air, in the atmosphere, gets much lesser than even 30%. And just to give you guys a little perspective of what happens on our bodies, your brain cells are dying, your stomach muscles are contracting, your thought processes are getting slow, you cannot even think clearly, your digestion completely stops. Basically, body is shutting down and we cannot survive for more than 48 hours above this altitude. So the idea was to get to the summit and down below 8,000 meters in a span of 24 hours. So now we were on a borrowed time. So yes, and I actually always imagined how would death zone feel like, and but 9 years of excitement, the energy, it just drove me, and I felt nothing of it, luckily. So yeah, next picture is yeah, of the Camp 3, which is the last camp before the summit at 27,000 feet. It is the highest camp in the whole world. And वहां पे आप जो highest point देख पा रहे हो on the left center kind of frame में, that is the very top of the world. That's where we are heading. Uh, yes. So moving on with the next picture. Yes, this is how we are in our camps. This is how we rest. This is how we even sleep with our oxygen masks. And while I was at this camp getting ready, I thought that this one night is what I have been training for since the last 9 years. It is my time to go. Do or die ka time tha abhi. And with this thought in my mind, I left Camp 3 and marched towards the top of the world. And yes, you can see this is a picture clicked at around 4 in the morning. That night, so this summit night, so we climbed from the Camp 3 towards the summit in the night, and this night is the most difficult part of the whole expedition, and a lot of people unfortunately die at this extreme place. And I had always heard about the stories, but for the first time in my life, I encountered dead bodies on my way to the summit, because around 500 people have so far died while climbing Mount Everest, and the bodies could not be brought down because the conditions are just too impossible to even for you to walk. So and the first dead body I saw, so like मैं ये इसलिए share कर रहा हूँ because this is another side of mountaineering that most people don't want to see. It's not all inspirational and glory. This is a part of it. And the first dead body that I saw, I could see myself in him. In him, not in the way that, oh, I'm going to die. No, not in that negative way. But I saw that this guy here must be just as passionate, just as experienced, just as driven as I am. He made maybe one little mistake, and see what happened. And that's when I promised myself, ki, no, not even one mistake. And with that thought in my mind, I marched towards the top of the world. And this is a very special picture for me, because this was around 50 feet away from the summit, and I'm not a very emotionally unstable person. Okay, मुझे बहुत ज्यादा खुशी या दुख या jealousy या anger कुछ भी feel नहीं होता है. But I don't know what happened to me out here. I just got down on my knees and started crying like a baby. बच्चे कैसे रोते हैं आवाज करके ना, मुंह से चिल्ला चिल्ला के रोते हैं बच्चे, वैसे मैं यहाँ पे रोने लगा, because the whole journey started flashing in front of my eyes. From the age of 15, when I first dreamt of seeing the top of the world like this, and 9 years later, against all odds, I was finally here. And yeah, the tears that were coming out of my eyes were getting frozen on my cheeks. It was minus 45 degrees outside. And I took the last few steps towards a 9-year long dream of mine. And this next picture is one of the most proudest moment for me, I would say, holding the Indian national flag on the very top of the world, representing my country, my state, my city, and the youth of this country. That if a 15-year-old like me could dream about climbing Mount Everest, having no background at all whatsoever, if I could do it, any Everest that anybody has in their life, there are no excuses. And yeah, so I want the next few pictures are of the view on the from the summit. So a beautiful, beautiful view which words cannot do justice to. I am like, I won't be able to use 26 letters and explain. See, and in this picture you can see a beautiful shadow, a triangular shadow of Everest spreading across the horizon. And it was such a magnificent sight. And this is the view since the last 9 years I had only seen in pictures and videos and in documentaries and in speeches like these. So to finally see in my own reality, I realized the power of a dream in that moment. And yes, eventually I came down. And yeah, next picture please. Yeah, that is me, completely battered, completely broken. You can see my face completely snow burnt and sunburnt, physically absolutely destroyed, but from within absolutely fulfilled, absolutely satisfied. And yes, thank you so much. This was my journey to the top of the world, a very short version of it, I would say. And I would love to connect with all of you on my Instagram, on my YouTube. I have some amazing videos which I regularly put. And thank you so much, guys, for listening to me. It means a lot. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.